Okay. All right. I'm recording now. So, all right. Okay. So anyway, I'll start over. It was just a second that it took me to mention what I said. So what I was saying is once you've exhausted your current warm market, you can start asking friends and family and users in your downline for referrals. You can come up with a referral program for them, whether it be free products or your fast start, paying them cash for getting people to your classes. That can be whatever you want it to look like. And of course, when you're starting out, you may not have as much to play with. So fix that to where it suits you. And then as your team grows, then maybe you can offer a little bit more of an incentive. Um, but either way, you can reach out to people that know and love and trust you and ask those people if they know somebody that really needs the products for health reasons. And most people are more than willing to give you some names and numbers. And it means a lot more when you get the names and numbers from a friend. When you're calling somebody, it's not cold calling. You're saying, so and so gave me your number and said you might be really interested in these and I'd love to talk with you. So that can work out really well. Other ways, you can join new clubs and new activities. Just getting to know some new people. Try some things you've never tried before. Always wanted to take a dance class. Take a dance class. Get to know some new people. It's really about just making new friends and new acquaintances. And for people like me who are introverted, that can be really hard. But if you want this business to work, you got to get to know people. um, Interact with groups online, join new groups, and get to know people, not just chatting every day, but actually really getting to know people. You know, when you see them struggling with something, private message them and just kind of really interact with them and get to know them. Talk to new people every day. Your goal should be 2 to 3 new people, whether that be online, in person, whatever. Get to know those people every day. Making new friends. Vendor events. This is a big way to expand your warm market with vendor events. You're going to get to know a lot of new people. What you need to do is pick events, first off, that you're not going to pay a ton of money up front. $10, $20 for an event is really, you can set your own limits on that, but really that's a good amount to pay for an event to go to. And you want to plan to have at least one other person there with you always. I don't like to go to events alone. If I need something to eat or I need to go to the bathroom, you don't want to leave all your oils out and all your products out to go and do what you need to do and come back. You need somebody where you can work in shifts. And you just never know what you might need. So it's always good to have 2 people. And if more than one person walks up to your booth, it's really hard to talk to 2 people at one time. So it's better to have 2 people there. Keep your table simple. I don't put a lot on my table. I might pick the Home Essentials kit oils, a little bit of information like the product information pages. If you have that little booklet that doTERRA sold recently, I think it was like $15. That's a really good thing to lay out for them to look through. And then maybe, have some little things to decorate. You could have a couple of banners, a tablecloth, whatever you want to put, but keep it simple. You don't need a lot of things out on the table. You also have to keep it compliant. You have to use things that doTERRA approves of. If they don't come from doTERRA, they can't be on your table. You're not supposed to give samples. I'll tell you the best way to handle that in a minute, but you want your table professional looking, but you want it simple. Don't overwhelm them. When they're coming, you're really just there to meet new people. You're not there to spill out a class to them and give them all the information possible. That's going to overwhelm them really fast. Okay, so follow doTERRA's rules, be compliant. You want a diffuser at your table. If you have access to power, you definitely want a diffuser there. So always have an extension cord available just in case your power source is a little bit further away from your table. Diffuser is a good thing. If you're in a larger space, maybe 2 diffusers, but definitely have at least one diffuser. That attracts people to your booth. They're going to smell those oils. It also looks really good. They're going to notice that before they notice anything else. Have those little contact pads on hand so that you can get their information. You're not giving out business cards. If you're giving out business cards, you're wasting your money and your time. You want those contact pads on your table so that they can fill them out with their information, even if it's just an email, you've got something. And then there's the little questions at the bottom on whether they're interested in the membership and classes and that sort of thing. Have those available, and when they fill them out, make notes on the back, what you talked about, especially if they mention, oh, I've already got a membership, that sort of thing, so you know not to bug them. So make notes on the back of those contact pads. This is also a great thing to do with like a giveaway. You can have some sort of giveaway, maybe an intro kit or something like that, and they're filling out the contact pad to get entered into the giveaway for that intro kit. Of course, you can pick what you want to give away. If it's something extra you have on hand, then whatever, but have a little bowl or something for them to fill out the contact pad and stick it in. This is another reason you want to make notes, because you don't necessarily want to give that free item to somebody who's already enrolled under somebody else. So make notes on the back of those pads. It's also a great way when you follow up, you can remember what health issues you talked with them about, or if they were interested in the business, you can remember that. So another good reason to make notes. When you're doing those, when you're talking with those people, you can also use that opportunity to pull your calendar out and book one-on-ones and classes with them on the spot. You can make a specific day to talk with them one-on-one, or if they're interested in the business and want to host a class, you can make a specific day to do that. And this would be a good way to do their samples. Sample them at their one-on-one. You could do a one-on-one with them and a class. It's up to you on how you want to approach that. But that would be a good way to sample them and have more one-on-one with them versus just handing them a sample and then having to follow up and follow up and follow up. You will actually get face-to-face with them afterwards, and it will show that they're interested before you ever give them that sample. When you're doing the vendor event, you want to, of course, smile, look as professional as you can. You want to stand in front of your table and greet the people, and you want to approach them. Say, hey, how are you doing? Have you ever used essential oils before? Keep it simple. And then the ones that are interested will step over and start talking to you, and you can go from there. But practice what you're going to say, and don't have it to where you're spilling out a whole class, because you're going to overwhelm them really quick. You want to give them simple information and then get a one-on-one or class booked with them so you can give them more information. Now, if you'll notice that you're not really pushing for enrollments and things like that at vendor events, you may get some. But the biggest thing about vendor events is it's just for warm markets. It's really just a great way to meet new people. It's not really a great way to get a ton of enrollments. You might get one here or there, but you're not going to get them at every single vendor event, and you're not going to get them from every single person that stops and talks to you. That's why I said don't spend a ton of money on them, because you don't want to waste that money and end up, maybe not a lot of people attended and you didn't get that many new warm contacts, or maybe most of the people that attended were already enrolled. So you don't know what the case is going to be. So just don't go out and spend hundreds of dollars to do a vendor event. Now, if you're going to do one with multiple wellness advocates and you guys can split the time and the money, that's a different story, because if it's something like a 3-day event that's all day long for 3 days, that's going to be exhausting anyway, and you're not going to want to do that alone. It can be mentally draining to talk to that many people and sit at a booth for that many hours. So it's better to have multiple people split it with you. Business networking groups are another way to expand your warm market. So there are a lot of them around. BNI is one of the big ones that a lot of people go to. But these are just great ways to meet other professionals. You can get ideas on how to run your business, ideas on how great customer service and how to do things differently. Excuse me. But you can also meet new people who are interested in the oils. Other business owners still need the oils. So that's a great way to talk to people. And then also, you may even find new builders there. There may be people that are really struggling or not really happy with the business they have had, and they may be looking for something new. So business networking groups are a great way to make contacts. Having parties for other MLMs or other businesses. This is a great way to get to know new people too, because you can meet the other people that have the MLMs and get to know them, support their business, and in return they're going to want to support yours. A lot of my enrollments have been from other people who do other businesses, but they love the oils and they want them for themselves. They may not be interested in another business at that time, but they may very well be interested in the oils. And then on top of that, they're going to bring to you new people because you get to know them, and eventually you can get to know their customer base, and they may bring on new people that way. I have one girl who tags me in everything oil related because she knows that I do the oils and she does makeup. So she has brought me a lot of new people to talk to, and I support her business continuously. So that is a great way to meet new people. All right, your hundreds names list that I mentioned earlier. If you don't have everybody you know already on that list, then you're not doing yourself a service. You need that warm market list full, and it needs to be checked off. And by checked off, I mean that they have already enrolled with doTERRA, not that they have said no. I'm not saying pursue somebody that said no, but I don't give up on them forever. I have had friends who've said no to the oils for 2 years, and then one day they message me and say, okay, I'm desperate. I've been dealing with these headaches for a long time and I really need some help, or something like that. So they're not a no. They're not marked off until they're with doTERRA. They may come around and may come back to you. You may need to take a break from contacting them, but they're not ever marked off until they're with doTERRA. Out of that list, out of that 100 names list, I can bet that most of you have a top 10 chicken list. People that you won't contact because they intimidate you, or for sure they're just not interested. You're prejudging whether or not they would want to do this. So I encourage you to take that top 10 chicken list and confront it and message those people, because they are holding you back. They're holding you back in your business. You want to contact these people and just offer them the oils. They say no, that's fine. Later on, they may be interested. But for now, you need to offer them. You're doing them a disservice by not offering them something that can help. They may be really struggling with some medications. They may be struggling with some kind of health issue, and they really need you to offer it, because they may not know. They may not realize what you're doing. You may not be doing a great job of putting across unless you're in. Maybe you don't make enough Facebook posts, and I'm not saying make every Facebook post about your business, about 1 out of 4, but you may not be saying, hey, this is my business, I do this, and I want to help you. And so they may not realize that there's an option out there for them. So approach that top 10 chicken list and go after it. And even if they're not interested, they may know somebody else who is. Social media is a great way to expand your warm market. I'm not saying build your entire business on social media, but it's a great way to meet new people, especially if you're somebody who can't get out a lot or doesn't get out a lot. You can meet real life people and talk to people and get to know their day-to-day life that way. There are a lot of introverts. There are a lot of people who don't get out a lot. So, you're using it as more of a tool to really, truly get to know people and make new friends. Not just, hey, you want some oils? Hey, you want some oils? You're making new friends online. I have friends now all over the country, in other countries, just by talking to them and getting to know their lives a little bit and messaging them once in a while and saying, hey, how are you doing? I saw you were struggling with this. I'll be praying for you, whatever. Getting to know these people and being more personable. Don't let that computer screen be a block. Let it help to your business. So anyway, let's see. Does anybody have any other great ideas for expanding your warm market, or something that has worked well for you that you want to share that I haven't already mentioned? I'm going to look. Go ahead. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions while I was talking. We'll see what the chat says. Okay, no, there doesn't look like there's any questions. So nobody has anything they want to share about a warm market? Do you have any questions about anything I mentioned?
I think you're doing a great job personally. I know everybody else does.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, if nobody has anything to share, has questions, that's pretty much everything on my list. I can't think of anything else to add right now. I just really I push the vendor events and the referrals because you really can gain a lot that way. And like I said, coming up with a referral program. Somebody mentioned one recently that they learned, and is it normal to have people not respond after a vendor event? It can be normal. Just like with any other person that you do know, your second contact, they may not respond to you. You may have to reach out to them 4, 10, 12 times before they finally remember. But the more you email them, send an email once a month to remind them who you are, remind them, what the specials are, that you want to meet with them and have a one-on-one and try to personalize their care. Just sending them reminders every so often, not bugging them, but just kind of, hey, I'm still here.
Me every so often want to sell my place.
Who?
Troy something or other.
Sorry, I thought somebody was talking to me, but anyway, yeah, so just like once a month, send them a message to say, hey, I'm still here, I still do this, and then they can, they'll remember you when they think about it. Did you say something? Let me look. Sorry, that popped up and then disappeared. Did you say something about a way to share oils at a vendor event without giving samples? Biggest thing that I do at the vendor event is I just let them smell them. If it's somebody who doesn't live around there, maybe they live kind of far, I may go ahead and give them a sample. You're not technically supposed to do that, but I might go ahead and give them a sample. But for the most part, I really try to do one-on-ones or classes with them to give them the sample at that point, instead of giving it to them at the event, because it gives me another chance to get in contact with them. It shows me they're serious because they want to meet with me to get that sample. So that's a great way to follow up with them, is wait and give them that sample. You're not supposed to repackage anything at events. So you're not supposed to pull out your bottle of oil, drop some drops in a dram bottle, and hand it to them with a sticker on it. doTERRA's rules are we're only supposed to hand out samples that they package. So like we could give them an On Guard drop, we could give them a Breathe drop, we could give them those little vials that look like the perfume bottles that used to come in magazines. We can give them those, we can give them a Deep Blue sample, but we're not supposed to repackage anything and hand it to them. So it's better if you meet with them one-on-one and do it that way so that you don't get in trouble. That's just the best way to approach it. Not saying I haven't given out samples at an event, but I try to avoid that at all costs. Sometimes, if they have a headache right offhand, I might let them put some of my past tense on or something like that. So, but anyway, yeah, so I forgot where I was going with that, but referrals. You could offer to pay them. Maybe you could pick a person who's really good with people and say, hey, I'll give you this amount of money if you send people to my classes every month, and you'll get this amount per person, or you'll get this amount for sending this many people, or whatever you want to do. You could offer them a keychain, and for every person they send to your classes or you get a one-on-one with, they get a dram bottle of 15 to 20 drops of an oil of their choice. So yeah, there's different ways you can give people referral incentives to send people your way. So they're doing the work for you, but they don't really want to do the business. They just want to send people your way. I have a lot of people that send people my way because they're not interested in the business, but they want to help people get these oils. So that's another great option. Really, it's just about getting out there and getting to know new people and expanding your friends and your acquaintances to a lot larger network than before. You can never have too many friends. So it's a good thing to do. And it only helps you grow in your business in the long run. And then teaching your downline and your team to do the same thing. You're just getting to know more and more people and, building your network. That's what network marketing is all about. Are there any more questions?
You make it sound so doable. We appreciate that.
It is
And I'm a
doable.
chicken.
I know you have to get past that, but it's hard. I know. I had one builder mention today that other MLO companies that hang on, it pops up and then it disappears on me. I had one builder mention today that other MLM companies like Tupperware had nice incentives for hosts, but doTERRA doesn't. Because this is our business. We offer those incentives. So you can offer them a diffuser. You can get cheap diffusers through third-party companies. You could use points to get them some free oils. There's a lot of ways you can do this to give them hostess incentives. I usually give them something for doing the class. One great option is give them a keychain for doing the class. The keychain already comes with the dram bottles. And then for every person that shows up at their class, you could give them 15, 20 drops on an oil of their choice. And of course, you can lay out certain
About it.
giving them the expensive ones. But you can give them, one for every person that shows up. That way they do the work of getting people there. And that can work for an online class too. For every person that participates, they get 15 to 20 drops of an oil. Yes, you can give them a drop of peppermint in their hands or place on their shoulders at vendor events. Yes, you can. You just can't repackage the oils. But I have absolutely, like I said, I've given them some past tense for a headache out of my stash. Just let them put some on. I've let them put some balance on or something like that. You can let them put the oils on them at a vendor event. You just can't repackage them and send it with them at the vendor events. Now at classes, you can do whatever. You can repackage them, you can put them on them, whatever. But at vendor events, you have certain rules to abide by, and one of them being don't repackage the oils. You can find on doTERRA.com, if you look it up, there are, it's actually, I think, in our policy manual too, there are rules that you have to follow to do a vendor event. So, yeah. Do we have any more questions? Oh, and we were talking about it being doable. You really do just kind of have to step out of your comfort zone. But when you're building a business, you've got to step out of your comfort zone anyway. You can't stick to what you've always done. You really have to just step outside that box. And so you're going to be doing things that you've never done before or that scare you a little bit, but it's going to be for your own benefit, for your business's benefit in the long run. It's really going to be a great way to grow your business. Trying new things is never a bad idea. And you may try new things that don't work, but that's okay. You'll know what won't work after that. And not everything works the same for everybody else. So no two people usually build a business the same way. I built a lot of my business in the beginning with one-on-ones, and I still prefer one-on-ones versus classes because I can give people more personal, more of my time that way. I don't have to worry about jumping from one person to the other. I can give them whatever they need, answer any questions they need, take as much time as I need with them. Doing it that way versus having a class and having to jump from one person to another to get them enrolled, get their questions answered, whatever. So I would encourage you to find what works for you and go with that. But if it ever stops working, reach outside your comfort zone and do it that way. Do it a different way. I'm sorry, somebody says they're having trouble hearing. I'm not sure if it's my connection or if it's somebody else's, but are there any more questions, guys? I've got all night. I just wanted to see if I want to help you guys get this so that you can move on with it.
This way it comes across me. Robert's just gave to him.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, LeAnn.
You're welcome.
Sorry I wasn't here at the beginning. I was driving and I thought I'd be home by 9 and I just couldn't quite make it in time. So we had some traffic, but thank you for getting it rolling and sorry for that to everyone. Just thanks for your patience. But it sounds like you had a great call with lots of amazing tips for helping everybody move forward in networking, getting out of their warm market, just thinking outside of the box. And I think maybe you have one more question. If you want to take it, you can.
Yeah, she said, what if you have people that want to enroll and then disappear on you? So that's going to happen. Whether it's a vendor event, whether it's a new person, or it's one of your close friends. It's just, it goes back to follow up. You just have to keep following up, reminding them that they had decided they wanted oils. Reminding them they said, hey, really need oils for this or that. And, sometimes it's a financial issue. Sometimes there are other things going on distracting them. So just don't give up. You really just need to do that once a month email and remind them you're still there. And just, give them time and they'll come around.
Excuse me.
Yes, great answer. Those of us who've been in this for years have had it happen enough times where someone says they're going to enroll and they disappear and we think we'll never hear from them again. It's been months or even years, and finally they have enough needs, or they've saved up the money, or they just remember you because you've continued to stay in touch and they're finally ready and they surprise you and enroll. So we've had it happen. I know LeAnn has had it happen, and it's discouraging at the beginning, but it's really encouraging when you see all of your follow-up pay off. And we don't know why that happens. I was just talking to our Blue Diamond, my upline Tanya Cottrell, and she just had it happen to her, where someone said they were going to enroll and they were all ready and she was excited to help them get started, and then they disappeared. But that doesn't mean she, walks away from them and is mad at them. We just continue following up and know life happens for all of us, and this is our business and our priority, and we just make it our business to have really good customer service and do our part to stay in touch as best we can and move on to the next person who is ready. And don't just sit and wait for that person who wasn't ready, because someone out there is waiting and ready, and you have something amazing to offer them, and that other person you can hope will be ready at some other point, and you'll be there for them. And just be consistent and steady so they know they can always count on you to be there for them. You're not in and out and of the business, or doing it sometimes and not others, or returning calls some weeks and not other weeks. Just try to carve out time to do your follow-up and plan well so that they know they can count on you when they're ready.
Yep, I agree. This is your business, and if you don't treat it like one, you're not going to move forward. You really have to get up every day and say, what am I going to accomplish for my business today?
Absolutely. Great advice. Well, thank you again. And if you'll just send me that recording when it's done processing, then I'll put it up on YouTube so everyone who couldn't be here can view that and get the great advice that you got. And then also, if you want to share it with any team members, or you just want to listen to it again, it's something that's really good to review when you feel stuck or you feel like I don't have anyone to talk to. It's good to go back over this type of information and remember, oh, there are other avenues, there are other ways, there are things maybe I haven't been doing as well, and it will encourage you to go back to some of these basics.
She says, do you send birthday cards to your customers when you have a large network? It's a great customer service thing to do. I'm not going to say that I'm great at that.
Yeah, I'm better at keeping up with birthdays on Facebook, but I think it's a great idea for your personal enrollees and for your builders on your team, maybe of a certain rank or something. And if you start when your organization is smaller, it'll be a lot easier to keep up with later. I tend to do Christmas or New Year's cards, because then I don't have to keep track of all those dates as well. I just, at least do that. And you can also have a customer appreciation event once a year or a couple times a year just for your personal enrollees. Do things like that make them feel special and give them back a little extra just to say thank you. Maybe all those who are on LRP or of a certain amount, or just depending on your organization, kind of run some numbers and see what you can do and what you feel like would be meaningful for your customers.
Yeah, and I think also, you can organize when people enrolled in your back office. You could also do by the month they enrolled, and like everybody that's ever enrolled in August, you could send them a thank you anniversary card or whatever. Still, I'm not great at that, but I think that's a great idea to do, because it's a little easier to organize. You could just pick out, all the August enrollments or all the September enrollments and send out their thank you card for being a customer for that amount of time.
That's a great idea. Recognize their doTERRA anniversary, because that would be unique. On birthdays, maybe they're getting a lot of recognition and cards and things. And at Christmas time and New Year's, we all do. But how many people are going to recognize their doTERRA anniversary? Probably just you. So that's a really good idea. It would be a unique time of year for them, most likely, to get something like that in the mail.
Yep.
Awesome. Great ideas.
All right.
All right, everyone. Well, have a great night. And thanks again, LeAnn. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.